Can never have any happiness because they are overwhelmed by the three kinds of miseries. Therefore, they take shelter of the shade of your lotus feet, which are full of knowledge, and we also thus take shelter of them. So, in this world, yeah, purport. The way of devotion service is neither sentimental nor mundane. It is a path of reality by which the living entity can attain the transcendental happiness of being freed from the three kinds of material miseries. Miseries arising from the body and mind, from other living entities, and from natural disturbances. Everyone who is conditioned by mental existence, whether he be a man or a beast or demigod bird, must suffer from adhyatmic pains, adi bhautic pain, adi devic pain, One's happiness is nothing but a hard struggle to get free from the mazes of conditioned life. But there's only one way he can be rescued, and that is by accepting the shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just by approaching the Supreme Lord, one can get free of all kinds of sufferings in this world. So start with the prayers. Om Gyantimarandasya Gyanam Janashalakaya Chakshurumitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobisham Vistapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadavayam Pradapi Parampikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsa Shilokam Sarvajata Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Tadiva Tavadetam Tavadutam Purina Sritam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishwakam Vitansa Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachārine Nirvishesha Shuddhavani Paschatri Shuddhavani Namo Namo Krishna Deva Gadaya Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauranga Namah He Krishna Gada Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Namaste Bhaktivedanta Gauranga Radhe Vrindaveshwari Vishwamanusuke Devi Pranamami Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Devascha Pratikana Pavanyo Vaishnavi Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Very, very auspicious day of appearance day of Lord Nrsimhadev, and Lord Nrsimhadev appeared for Prahlad Maharaj. And today's our discussion, we are going to see the whole series of pastimes, from the birth of Prahlad Maharaj to the coming of Lord Nrsimhadev, that what all things happened, and we will learn valuable lessons from it. We learn the valuable lessons that how the Lord killed Hiranyakashipu and what all lessons we can learn and how we can learn the dependence of Prahlad Maharaj, dependence from Prahlad Maharaj. See, Hiranyakashipu had everything of this universe. Everybody was under his control. Hiranyakashipu would just raise an eyebrow. Hiranyakashipu would just raise an eyebrow and demigods will fear him. They will just raising eyebrows of Hiranyakashipu. Like you see, even in department, some big officer raise an eyebrow. All people under thrill, no? आप साहब जी का mood खराब हो गया है, हमारी छुट्टी हो जाएगी. So like that, demigods will fear Hiranyakashipu. But he was miserable. And where the Prahlad was still a small boy, but he was always remembering the Lord and he was always blissful. Prahlad, though having he was a small boy, completely dependent upon his father who was trying to kill him. But because he was dependent upon the Supreme Lord, he was always blissful. And Hiranyakashipu had everything and he was fully miserable. Okay. So this pastime very clearly shows that only when we take shelter of the Supreme Lord can we be happy. Only by devotional service and different ways it takes the sadhaka to understand the seventh canto, that what are the principles to take shelter of the Supreme Lord, and we'll be discussing that. And before we begin with this one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, and the seventh canto is something very, very, the character of Srila Prahlad Maharaj is something very, very special. And I don't feel myself qualified to speak on the quality of Prahlad Maharaj, but we are speaking, talking, so that we gain this beautiful qualities what Prahlad Maharaj has. So Prahlad Maharaj quotes this very beautiful verse. Manyada, he in his prayer when Lord Narasimha appeared, he had this prayer to Lord Narasimha. Manyadana vijana rupa tapashruta oja teja prabhava bala paurusha buddhi yoga naradhanaya bhavanti parasya pumso bhaktya kutosha bhagavan gajayutapaya. So manya dhana vijana. One may possess dhana. Dhana, Abhijana, he may be born in an aristocratic family. He may have a lot of beauty. Tapa, he may do a lot of austerities. Shruta, he may have great learning of the Vedas. He may have Oja, of Teja. Very, very effulgent he looks in his body. Teja Prabhava, Bala, he had great strength. Parusha, great endeavor, and he had great intelligence. But all these things cannot satisfy the Supreme Lord. What can satisfy the Supreme Lord? Only bhakti. Naradhana hi bhavante param sipumso. And the example is Gajendra. Bhaktya tutosh gajyud paya. That Gajendra is a epitome. The Gajendra is a proof because Gajendra did not had anything, neither high birth, neither wealth, neither he has austerities, neither anything, because he was an animal. But the only thing Gajendra did, call out the Lord with devotion, and Lord came, because what satisfies the Supreme Lord is only devotion. There. So this whole episode of Prahlad Maharaj is about devotion to the Lord. That what is meant by faith and devotion for the Supreme Lord. What does it mean to take shelter of the Lord? And to the degree we can understand these principles in our life will become a blissful one. There. Because Prahlad was always blissful. In fact, he's praying to Lord Narasimha there. नाएव उद्तुजे परदुरत्तवैतरणस्य तदवीरगायनमहमृतमग्नचित्ता शोचे ततो विमुखचे सैन्दयाता माया सुखं परमुदवतो विमूढान्. So beautiful he says that that Lord, I'm not worried to go home back to Godhead also. I'm not worried for liberation also, my Lord. Why? I'm happy in this world simply remembering your pastimes. I'm so absorbed in your memory, in your pastimes, that there is no unhappiness for me. But I am concerned about the devotees who are, I'm concerned about the devotee people, not non-devotees, who are unnecessarily struggling in this illusory happiness of this world. There. So I'm worried about them. So Prahlad Maharaj was completely absorbed in the Lord, in the Supreme Lord. And he said, I have no misery. And though he had gone through so many miseries just before Lord Narasimha appeared, but Prahlad had taken complete shelter of the Lord there. And I was hearing one lecture from Srimasa and Maharaj was telling, just like a child, the father, one father was putting his child, uchhal rahe the, on the swinging in the air. And even seeing it was a careful scene. If the child misses, if the father misses, what would happen? But the child was very, very happy. Why? The child had complete faith that my father will not let me down. So in the same way, Prahlad's fearlessness, Prahlad's cheerfulness was coming upon his faith in the Lord, that whatever Lord is doing in my life, he is my supreme father, and he will not let me down. And therefore he was always feeling blissful and happy. And that was a Prahlad dependence on Lord Narasimha. But where the Hiranyakashipu did all the arrangements for him, he went to Brahmaji to ask so many things. So now we will see the seventh canto, chapter by chapter, and the lessons from it. So the second chapter is a place where Prahlad was born, and Hiranyakashipu want to do tapasya. So what had happened, Lord Varahadev had killed Hiranyakashipu, who was the brother of Hiranyakashipu. Now the Jay and Vijay were cursed from Vaikuntha and they came as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, and both were against the Lord. They had come to fight them with the Lord. So this Hiranyaksha was killed by Varadev, and that time Hiranyakashipu became very angry. How did Lord Vishnu kill my brother? And he wanted to fight with Lord Vishnu only. You know, there. So what he did, so he said, I shall, remove Lord Vishnu. I shall kill Lord Vishnu, as if he can kill Lord Vishnu. There. See that. So see, atheists also want to know there is no God. And what did he did? He told to all followers that you destroy all the people on earth who are engaged in austerity, sacrifice, Vedic study, vows, and charity. Earth is flourishing with the earth is flourishing with the Brahmanas. Earth is flourishing with the Brahmanas, so you kill and destroy all the Brahmanas. If Brahmanas will not be there, there will be no more Yagyas, and there will be demigods. And Yagyas is done to please Lord Vishnu. Then Lord Vishnu's strength will also go away, and then demigod's strength will also go away, and all demigods will die there. And go and destroy all the cows and all the places where Vedic culture is being established. Now, if we see there's a similarity between what civilization Hiranyakashipu made lakhs of years back and today's civilization. Today, anybody is practicing Brahminical principle is condemned, right? If you go to modern civilization, they said be a theist, be an atheist. There is no God, Darwin's theory, and all that we're propagating. And anywhere Vedic sacrifices would be happening, they will be not there. And even you see today's civilization, anybody who now it's happening on a very subtle level. And in fact, countries like China, if somebody is seen to be worship, you know, worship Jesus, then they're told to put the photo of their gurus of this the president and the Mao and other people there. They cannot even churches were like banned. So what Hiranyakashipu was doing, it's happening on planet Earth even today, where there is no freedom of religion for people. If somebody is worshipping God, people make fun of him. Hey, why you worship? Chant. And that time, they were not allowed to chant Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. They have to compulsory chant Om Hiranyakashipaya Nama there. And just chant Om Hiranyakashipaya Nama and you will be happy. And today's day or ANA, same thing. If anybody takes name of God, oh, he's backward, he's not of any use. But anyone who is praising modern technology, modern atheism, and not being a Western culture, and what people say, those who are pious, they suffer. And those who are impious, they are enjoying life. The Hiranyakashipu also reverse the same thing. Anybody who do impiety will go to heaven, and anybody to worship the Lord will go to hell. He reversed the complete system because all departments he took into charge. Hiranyakashipu. So there is a lot of similarities between the modern civilization and Hiranyakashipu. And that time also people were wondering, are those who are devotees of the Lord, they are not getting anything, and those who are atheists, they are flourishing. So Hiranyakashipu had made. And before doing it, what Hiranyakashipu had done, he knew I should go and do perform tapasya. And what tapasya I should do? So he went to take benedictions from Lord Brahma there. Now, meanwhile, now Prahlad was born. So before going for tapasya, or in between tapasya, Hiranyakashipu had begotten Prahlad in the womb of Kyalu. So actually he was thinking of Lord Vishnu while begetting Prahlad Maharaj there. So some incident happened due to which Hiranyakashipu was agitated in the mind. Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. And that's the time he conceived Prahlad in the womb of Kayalu, his wife. Because he was remembering Lord Vishnu, a great devotee of Lord Vishnu got take birth there. Because whatever the thoughts of the father, that's how the son becomes there. So Prahlad became a Mahabhagavad devotee of the Lord. Now Hiranyakashipu went to perform tapasya. And demigods came, अरे इसके बाप ने इतना परेशान किया, बेटा कितना करेगा? So they were waiting for Kayalu to give birth to Prahlad. See, demigod had some sense at least, they did not did abortion. The abortion is a very heinous crime. They were waiting for the child to come. And they thought they will kill the child and the child will come. But Narad Muni came that time and told demigods, "Are fool, this child has come for your protection only. He is going to be a great devotee of the Lord." And demigods understood and leave the child. Now, before that, and now Hiranyakashipu performing a lot of austerities on that side, and Kayalu was always thinking when my husband will come back. Now Narad Muni, though Kayalu was in the ashram of Narad Muni, the Narad Muni is giving preaching to Kayalu, that about the Bhagavad Dharma, about the glories of the Lord. But the problem was Kayalu was very anxiety ridden. That when my husband will come, what will happen? See, sometimes you are hearing a Bhagavatam class, and simultaneously you are having anxiety. अरे इसका क्या होगा? उसका क्या होगा? So class doesn't enter our head. Okay? Class doesn't enter our heart. Class doesn't enter our head there. The same way, Kalu was very anxious when my husband will come. So even Narada Muni is telling, take shelter of the Lord. She's not able to think anything because she is thinking of the husband. But Prahlad Maharaj was hearing in the womb. Prahlad Maharaj was hearing in the womb. The whole class heard very attentively. And just by preaching for Narada, Prahlad became a devotee in the womb only. Yeah. In fact, it is said that whatever a mother hears while the child is in the womb, it very much impacts the child. That whatever child is doing, whatever the mother is doing, if mother's head is if mother's hear about about the Lord, Supreme Lord, during the child in the womb, the child will become a devotee of the Lord there. So and if mother hears Srimad Bhagavatam, mother chants, and child will also develop those qualities what the mother has when child is in the womb there. So because she was hearing, so she did not took the message to the heart, but Prahlad Maharaj became a great devotee. And he learned from Narad Muni in the womb only, and that was womb preaching. So that's why even a child can become a devotee of the Lord. Of course, Prahlad Maharaj is a Mahabhagavad devotee from, is a Nitya Siddha and as well as a Sadhana Siddha there. So he does the knowledge. Now on the other hand, Hiranyakashipu's austerity kept on increasing. Hiranyakashipu's austerities kept on increasing there. And what he did, what was his powerful austerities without eating? See, those days in those days, Satyuga, the life was not in grain. The life was it in the bones and the life here. So people even without eating anna can stay, which cannot be done today. So much by doing so many austerities, his body was completely flesh emaciated only, and the whole body became an anthill. And so much fire was emanating from Hiranyakashipu austerities that whole three worlds start to burn by there. And nobody has done so many austerities before. See, Hiranyakashipu, no matter how much powerful I became, one curse of Sanat Kumaras will burn him off. One curse of Narada, Bhrigu, and all this burn off. So he was very fearful of the curse of the great rishis. So he thought, I will do more tapasya than the rishis also, that rishi also could not curse me. So he did such a tapasya that nobody, Bhutva na Bhavita, would able to do such a tapasya what Hiranyakashipu did. And by his tapasya, demigods start telling, Hare, the demigods went to Lord Brahma that please do something there. And they told to Hiranyakashipu's plan. Lord, the Brahmaji bari samal ke jana, Hiranyakashipu's whole plan is what? To assert our he will assert your post only in due course of time. So, but still, because austerities come and they have to take action, the whole universe was burning by his austerities. So Brahmaji went to pacify Hiranyakashipu and asked, and Brahmaji also glorified the austerities of Hiranyakashipu. Oh, your austerities are perfect, astonishing, unparalleled. Nobody has ever done those there. And even you have conquered me. Ask what you want there. See, this is the difference between Lord Vishnu and Brahma. Lord Vishnu is never tied by the bones, no matter how much person does austerity. But demigods, somebody worship them, they have to give the results there. So Brahma enlivened Hiranyakashipu. So though he was completely handled, the moment Brahma put the sacred water, Hiranyakashipu came back to his normal healthy state there. And he got a golden body. And then Hiranyakashipu showed, great devotion to Lord Brahma, that you are the creator, you are this, you are that. And so much glorify Lord Brahmaji. You are the propagator of 7 kinds of sacrifices, eternally awake, seeing everything that happens. You are the universal form, like that he started glorifying Brahma even beyond Brahma's status also there. And Brahmaji, and then he said, what I want, Lord Brahma. I want, let me not meet death. And he knew, Brahmaji said, see, I am myself not immortal. How can I make you immortal? there. So he understood. Then he thought, okay, let me find out all the ways, by which I will not die. So all permutation combination Hiranyakashipu put so that I should not die. So let me not meet death from any of the living entities created by you, within or outside of any residence, during the day or during the night, or ground or in the sky, by any others beyond you, by any weapon, human being or animal, from any living being or non-living entity, by any demigod or demon or snakes from the lower planets. Let me not have any rival. Nobody can stay before me. Let me so lordship over all living entities and presiding deities also. Whole lordship. And give me all mystic powers there. And Brahmaji says, Tathastu. But he said these are very dullabhan. Dullabhan means even you get it, you're not able to contain it. This benediction there. And Brahmaji gave. And after this, Hiranyakashipu became so powerful. Nobody can challenge him, nobody can curse him, nobody do it. The whole universe, he was just rambling. See, there are devatas who are controlling the things in this world. Though we cannot see the devatas, and this all pastimes are happening in Sarga there. So Hiranyakashipu goes and occupies the throne of Sarga there. And all demigods are cutting sabji in his kitchen. And all, they are also glorifying Hiranyakashipu. Om Hiranyakashipu Nama. And again, and some demigod did something. Hiranyakashipu will call and beat the demigods there. Karke, there. So all demigods will be in judgment. See, the Lord does this pastime to show that even somebody may become up to demigods. Even the demigods have fear in this world there. That even a person become a devata also. Like if you see outside people, they will very much glorify, oh, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, all are so great people, right? The demigods. But this passage shows even such demigods, when Lord's favor, if some person like Hiranyakashipu comes, those demigods also cutting sabji in his kitchen there, and they are praising him and they are going there. So ultimately, this material world, whoever you are, is a place of misery. Dukhalyam ashashvatam. No matter whatever status you get, you become a demigod also, devata also. There, you cannot be happy. Even Yamaraj was helpless. Yamaraj, who awards death to everybody, he was helpless before Hiranyakashipu. So everyone became helpless, and he completely changed the whole. And whatever shares will go to demigods, he will himself eat. All those shares, Hiranyakashipu himself eat and take in there, and he controls the entire nature, entire universe. See, Athis are trying. See, the modern way also we can see the same tendency of mini Hiranyakashipu is there. So Hiranyakashipu's plan was what? Outright the Lord Vishnu, kill Lord Vishnu. So today people are saying there is no God. No, we are the controllers. Then Hiranyakashipu want to control everything himself. So we think, okay, everything is under our control. Will control diseases, will control all that. That's what the modern civilization heading to, and we'll just enjoy and drink. There is no God. Drink liquor and and drink all whatever nonsense you can do. There is no need of any institution, varnashrama dharma. There is nothing needed. Just eat, drink, and be married. And there is no need of marriage. Also live life. And you see that's the culture is being promoted in the whole world there of atheism. It's not that only it's happening in Kali Yuga. We may many times question comes, if what does God is doing? People are doing becoming so sinful. People are doing all that. What happened? God is not doing. Just think of imagine the time of Hiranyakashipu. People are asking, Are Hiranyakashipu? Just think imagining if we are in the time of Hiranyakashipu. If we chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, gala kat jayega. And if you chant Om Hiranyakashipu Nama, you will be given all prizes and everything there. And in fact, China is a proof. It happened. Some of the news I heard that if you take the name of Lee and their this thing, then you are glorified there. But if you worship Jesus Christ or other in open public, then you can be murdered also. There, you can be harmed and thing there. So even today, you see, and even in Russia, if anybody worshiping the Lord and found preaching, he will be put in the bar in Russia there when the communism was there. So you can see the same what was happening Hiranyakashipu culture is happening even today also. So if you worship Hiranyakashipu, you get everything. So if you worship the communist ruler, you will get everything, right? There, so the same principles are happening in the modern civilization. And people say, what God is doing? So many impious people are flourishing, and pious people are इनका कोई पूछता ही नहीं है, जो भगवान को पूछता है उनसे आपके साथ बुरा हो रहा है, व्हाट इज दिस हैपनिंग? सो Hiranyakashipu's time, all that was happening there. Can you imagine there? So why, see, this is now why that was happening, why were there? See, Lord is now Lord has a bigger plan there. So now the demigod realize. See, demigod also sometimes develop a false ego that we are also great people. And demigod realize we are also not great people. So they humbly went and took shelter of the supreme Lord. So they went along with Brahmaji. Brahmaji called Lord Shiva also, please come. We have to come and worship the Lord. And they went to Shvetadin, where Lord Shirodakshai Vishnu is present. But they could not see the Lord. They will offer the Purushukta prayer and they heard a voice only, right? They only heard a voice. And the voice which was grave as rumbling of a cloud, Megha Nishavana there. And Lord was not visible to them. They were just hearing the voice. And it was resounding in all direction. And he drive away the fear of saintly person. Such a voice they heard of the Supreme Lord. And Supreme Lord said, do not fear, I am here. Do not fear, O best of learned person. I wish all good fortune you. Seeing me or by hearing and chanting about me, offering prayers, give highest benefit to all beings there. And my Lord said, when shows envy towards the demigods, the Vedas, the cows, the Brahmanas, the Vaishnavas, and religious principle, he and civilization will be vanquished. And proper told also, the civilization which is based upon godless principle is not going to stay for long. And the proof is nursing there. Proof is Hiranyakashipu there. So the any civilization where atheism is very much prominent. Now it may look flourishing today. It may be looking the people who are communists they're enjoying and the whole world is suffering from COVID. Or the people who are atheists they're enjoying and devotees are suffering. It's a matter of time. Everything will get reversed. So during Hiranyakashipu time also people were thinking like same thing. But Lord is telling, don't worry. In due course of time, it will destroy. And how it will destroy? And Lord predicted when Hiranyakashipu will teases his Mahabhagavad son Prahlad, he will lose all the result of austerities there. So if somebody harms the Lord's devotees, that's the time that civilization will break there. When persons start offending the great Vaishnavas, that's the time that communism, that there's a time whatever is atheism is there, it will break apart. Because Lord can tolerate everything, he cannot tolerate offense towards his great devotees. In fact, it happened in Russia, many devotees, one devotee even they took their life also because he was practicing and he was asking, please tell about your friends and everything they put in prison. And after that, so much so much opposition came to communism from all over the world, and in 93 whole communism break up there. So any government, anybody who touches a devotee of the Lord cannot stay. History is the gava, is history is the proof of that there. And same thing is happening. And he said that Prahlad, who is without enemy, peaceful, great devotee, I shall kill him despite the benedictions of Brahma. Why? Because he had tortured my devotee. Now I would have killed him now because Brahma had given benediction, so I will not kill him now. But when he offended a devotee, I will not tolerate it and will kill him despite there. So, what is the greatest power in this world is tolerance of a Vaishnava. The tolerance of a Vaishnava is the greatest power because it invokes the power of the Supreme Lord. There. And it was Prahlad's tolerance of the Atyachar of Hiranyakashipu that there. So Brahmanas have power of curse. But in this case, Brahmanas or Rishis also could not do anything. But because Prahlad had tolerance and forgiveness, that quality was so powerful that Hiranyakashipu also could not stand before that. So the powerful quality of a Vaishnava is his tolerance and his forgiveness. There. So and Supreme Lord can tolerate anything, but not violence towards his devotees or all sinful activities and offense to Vaishnava is the most severe. All the benediction received by an offender would be null and void as soon as commit an offense at the lotus feet of a devotee. And therefore, devotee have no fear. They can go anywhere and preach. The Supreme Lord is there with them. In fact, Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the sixth canto that wherever devotees are going and preaching, Vishnu Dutas are there to protect them and protection. The devotees are not alone when they are preaching. Lord's protection is always there with the devotees there. And now they describe the beautiful qualities of Prahlad Maharaj. And today our class may go little till 9:30 or 9:45. So because it takes time to discuss a whole beautiful pastime, but it is very auspicious day to discuss this whole pastime of Lord Narasimha. So theme 7, sublime qualities of saintly Prahlad. So qualities of Prahlad. Brahmanya Shila Sampanna Satyo Sandho Jitendriya Atmava Sarvabhutana Eka Kriya Suvittama Dasavasanatari Angri Pitravat Dina Vatsalaha Bhratarva Sadashe Snigdho Gurusha Ishara Bhavanaha Vedyataroopa Janmadyo Gnanastamba Vikarjitaha. So it's very beautiful qualities. So Brahmanya Shila Sampana. Brahmana means he was qualified. Though born in a Asuric family, he was qualified as a Brahmana. The Shila Sampanna. Like yesterday also we were talking about the quality of Krishna as Shila. So one of the qualities of Shila was when Muchukunda burned Kalyavan by his eyes. And that time Krishna comes and Muchukunda asks, Lord, who are you? Like my effulgence burned Kalyavan, but your effulgence, my eyes I'm not able to see. There. Who are you? And that time Krishna did not glorify himself. No, I am this, I am Supreme Lord, I am that. He said, I am Vasudev, son of Vasudev. That's all. But see, the Yati. Yati is also in the Kula of the Lord. Yati, Nahusha, there. So Yayati was a great king, no doubt. And he was in fact fit to become Indra. And he reached heaven. Then Indra thought, he may become Indra. So Indra said, who are you? He knew all glories of Yati, but he asked Yati, who are you? So Yati started telling, you don't know? I did this, I did that, I am that, I am that, I am that. And he started falling from heaven. You know why? Because when you start telling about your good qualities, you lose the pious credit of what you have done. And Indra knew this, and that's why he incited Yati to speak his glories. And the moment Yati spoke his glories, he fell from the heaven. And his daughters and his sons saw, and grandsons saw, our grandfather is falling. Then they give their punya to grandfather to go back to heaven. Though he had done so many things. So generally people like to boast about themselves. Dekho, maine ye kiya, main so. But Lord Krishna is doing everything in this world. Aham sarvasya Prabhu, Mata Sarvam Pravate, but you always want to take a very humble position. There, Sheila Sampana. And same qualities of Lord come in a devotee also. So Prahlad Maharaj had this great quality of Sheelata there. He himself always considered himself as servant. That I am a servant. The Hiranyakashipu so much chastised Prahlad, but Prahlad was never disrespected. He was always talking with lot of respect. He is giving good advice to Hiranyakashipu, but we will see that now. But he is talking with lot of great respect there. And what is the Shila Sampanna? What are the qualities explained there? Satya Santo. He is always dedicated to absolute truth and determined to understand absolute truth and true to his promise. And Jitendriya is full control of his mind and senses. A small child. Children like to play, cry. But Prahlad Maharaj is completely absorbed in the Supreme Lord. There. Why training was given by Narad Muni in the womb. There. Then Atma Sarvbhutana and Eka Pirya Sruttama. Just like Paramatma is dear to everybody, Like that, Prahlad was dear to everyone. Like you see, generally we with our relatives or those people who will glorify us, we will be very nice. Those people who criticize us, those people who are envious to us, or they are not our brother sister, we said, "Jao bhad mein," we are not care. But if Paramatma is one person who cares for everybody, a Paramatma is one person who cares for everybody systematically. In the sense, he is impartial. He cares for everybody. Even for atheists also he will care. Even for non-devotees also Lord is giving the food. Paramatma. And he has no envy to anybody there. And whoever worships him, he give him more inspiration in the heart. So this is a mercy of the Supreme Lord. So like that, Prahlad's quality was that he felt good for everybody. Even he was feeling good for Hiranyakashipu, the Hiranyakashipu was torturing him. So he saw good in everybody and he wanted to do good for every devotee, every non-devotee, every person. That was Prahlad's quality, the Atma Vasud. And in fact, Prahlad never found difference between an enemy and a friend. He said, "What is this enemy? What is this friend? Why you are dividing the world between friend and enemy there? Because nobody is a friend, nobody is an enemy. It's only duality of the mind. That somebody praise me, then I say he is my friend, and somebody criticize me, insults me, I say he is my enemy. So this is all duality in the mind. I think somebody who's glorifying me, he may want something from my pocket, and that's why he may pretending to be a friend. And somebody who is criticizing me or chastising me may want my good, and he may be really my friend. So what is friend and what is enemy? So this is a duality of this world. Prahlad did not saw in this concept of friend and enemy because he saw everybody is the son of God. And whatever is happening under Lord's control, Lord is only doing everything. Then who's a friend, who's a enemy? He saw everybody as a part and parcel of the Lord. So he did not saw anybody as a friend, he did not saw anybody as a enemy. There. So Das was Sannatya Angri. He surrendered to the feet of the wise like a menial servant. There. So he said that one should go to Guru and serve him like a menial servant. So to those who are wise sages, he served like a menial servant. Pitr was Deen Vassala. Anybody who is Deen Vassala, any poor. So he will be like a father, providing him all the necessities, concerned about him. And Bhatravat Sadrisho Snigdho. And to his brothers, he will not fight. He had four brothers also, right? So he will not fight. But no, he had three brothers because one brother, one himself. So Hiranyakashipu had four sons. Prahlad, Halad, like that. Four sons he had. So he was affectionate to equals like a brother. So anybody equal to him, he will be affectionate like a brother. Guru Shaha Ishvara Bhavana. And his guru he will treat like God only. Like his guru, Prahlad will treat like God. And Vidyartha Rupa Janmadev, and he is endowed with education, wealth, beauty, good birth. And even after having all this quality, generally pride may come. Oh, I know so much knowledge. I'm like this. But he was very, very humble. Pride of free of pride and unsubmissiveness. Yeah. And Uddhavigna Chitta Vyashneshu. And when he is put into dangers, he was unagitated. His see, the greatness of a person is defined that ability to tolerate provoking situations. When provoking situations come in the life, how much we don't get disturbed and remain cool minded and take shelter of the Lord. But Prahlad had it in the highest there. Even the greatest of danger, he remained cool, completely absorbed in the Lord. So this one quality we can learn in Prahlad, that how in difficult times, in dangerous times, we can completely remain absorbed in the Lord. If there's one quality we can learn from Prahlad Maharaj, from to on this day, pray to Prahlad Maharaj. That's a very exalted quality, there. But if we pray to Prahlad Maharaj for this quality, the Lord, whenever somebody criticizes us, insults us, or when we have some health problems, some danger in our life, let me remember you, my Lord. There. And the beauty is because Prahlad was remembering the Lord in any situation, nothing happened to Prahlad, right? Here, we'll see in the next chapter because Prahlad was always remembering the Lord, Lord was always there to protect Prahlad. So this one quality of a devotee that is always taking dependence upon the Lord. And that's what our series is going on, Avasya Rakshibe Krishna. That Krishna protects his devotees, and we can very clearly see from this pastime of Prahlad Maharaj how Lord Narsinghdev or Lord Krishna was always protecting Prahlad Maharaj, no matter what was the case there. So this is something very, very beautiful of Prahlad Maharaj there. His dependence on Krishna there. His and then he was not desirous of any sense gratification. He saw the world avastudrik, world as insubstantial. Only he saw the vasta vastu as Krishna. Nothing as Krishna, he saw anything vastudina. He always controlled his senses, life, hair, body, intelligence. He subdued all lustful desire. Though he was born in a family of demons, he was devoid of demonic qualities such as envy. And the wise glorify Prahlad's divine qualities. Why? All good qualities of Supreme Lord exist forever in his devotee, Prahlad. So by a devotee, by taking shelter of the Lord, he also developed the good qualities like the Supreme Lord. Yasyasti Bhagavati Akinchana. That those who are devoted to the Lord, they naturally develop all the good qualities in themselves. And whereas where those are not devoted to the Lord, they are not able to develop the good qualities in themselves. So Vaishnava quality. So Prahlad Maharaj is the ocean of Vaishnava qualities. And when we hear this Vaishnava qualities, we also develop this Vaishnava qualities. Now I may say, okay, you are talking about Prahlad, who was so many thousands of years, lakhs and millions of years before, right? But talk something about today's time. So I have one example for there. Of course, there are many. Srila Prabhupada himself, always dependent upon the Lord, like Prahlad Maharaj and Prabhupada disciples. But there is one special devotee whom I thought to share about Kuvera Prabhu. This Kovera Prabhu was a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Tirth Swami Maharaj. There. But this Kovera Prabhu, he got a disease named ALS. It's something very called Gehrig's disease. It is a disease where everything inside just start deteriorating and melting away. And once you get it, you have to die. There is no cure for it. Generally, people may die for 2 years, but Kovera Prabhu suffered from this disease for 10 years. And even though he had so many problems, but he had a great heart of compassion. He had a great heart of compassion. He never saw anybody as an enemy. He saw only people as part and parcel of Krishna. And one time there was his birthday. In his birthday, there were one-third devotees, one-third Christians, and one-third Muslims. This is in Washington, D.C. Right? In New York, in US, in Washington, D.C., he was there, and he will go to the Institute of Bhakti Tirth Maharaj. And how will he go to the Institute of Bhakti Tirth Maharaj? His home was far away. And he will take train, he will take bus. Now the problem with his body is he cannot walk very straightforward. He's limping. And anybody if throws him there, he will immediately fall on the ground. Even some dhakka comes. And to get up was not in his hand because of the disease, because internally he had gone very weak. But still, he never expected any help from anybody, and he just, would come and go with the calm himself. And sometimes it would happen in a bus station, somebody will hit him, and he will be lying on the road for half an hour, and then he will get up, take his strength, and come follow. But he never missed the Saturday program. There, he was always coming for the Saturday program, and he will not tell also that this all happened. Otherwise, devotees would have helped him. So he was very, very selfless. Come every week, he is there for Mangalarti, Saturday morning Mangalarti, Bhagavatam class, chanting japa with the devotees there. And all those difficulties he will take. So that day was his birthday. And that birthday, even people who were atheists also had come. Muslims, Christians, they were coming. And they were giving his offering like Kuvera Prabhu's Vyas Puja only. There. Why? What was the wealth of Kumera Prabhu? His wealth of the heart. The physically, he had no wealth. Neither materially he was rich, but he has a heart of gratitude, devotion, compassion, and love. So what? And even you're a billionaire. You cannot be happy. See, Hiranyakashipu himself is an example. He is not a billionaire. He has control of the whole universe, but he was not happy. But on the other hand, Prahlad was dependent on the Lord. He had compassion, he had gratitude, devotion, and he was completely happy. And on the other side, Hiranyakashipu, he has everything. See, generally we think in this world, when we will have a lot, then we will become happy, right? That's what taught from our childhood. Better get this, better get that, get this, get this, get that. Of course, the scriptures talk about it. One should live, one should maintain his body and soul together. One should work for maintaining his body and soul together. But the scriptures never say if you have more, you will be happy there. But from childhood, we are given that kind of thing. No, if you have this more, if you have this more, if you have this more, then you will be happy. But actually, we cannot be happy even person have there. So there are billionaires. There are there are people who are having great money, but money cannot help them at the time of death. There, even in crisis situations, money cannot help a person. But one who has Krishna, one who has the Lord, one who has developed his sambandha with the Lord, he is the wealthiest person. Why? Because he developed a peace in his heart. Bhaktaram tapsam sarroka maheshwaram suritam sarvbhutanam gyatlamam shanti rajati. So like that Kuvera Prabhu, he had a great peace in his heart, compassion, divine virtue. Those were touching all these people. So all these people had come on the Vyas Puja day, means birthday of Kuvera Prabhu, and it was like a mini Vyas Puja there. And what they were saying, so in that, they were prostitutes also who had come and said, I was a prostitute. Everybody hated me. My company was very bad. But this Kuvera Prabhu saw good in me and he magnified that good. And because of his compassion, he did not judge me. I could give up my professional prostitute. Now I'm a wife with 3 children. I'm a chaste wife with 3 children. Then, so like that, prostitutes were coming and glorified Kuvera Prabhu. Same way, atheists, there, Muslims were coming there. See, can you imagine Muslims coming and glorifying Hare Krishna devotee there? Then Christians were coming. They were glorifying. He's a saint. He's a saint amongst people there. So like that, hmm, because he had won people's heart there. And criminals were coming. Criminals were coming and glorifying Kuvera Prabhu. I was a criminal. Everybody hated me. But Kuvera Prabhu loved me. He saw good and I gave up my bad profession now. I gave up all my criminal activities and became a spiritually minded person. So why? Because Kuvera had such Bhakti Shakti that he was transforming their heart. So what is real Bhakti mean? His opulence, his gratitude. He had a grateful heart. He could be blissful in any situation. And he could give bliss and give wisdom and give Bhakti to everyone. He came in contact with, even though he could not hardly walk, he could not walk, he could not probably move any limbs of the body. But he was giving pure devotional service because he was grateful. And when Kuvera Prabhu was passed away, all the devotees were doing kirtan. And even Muslims were coming and reading their Quran. And Christians were coming and reading their Bible for Kuvera Prabhu. So this was a devotee. So I just said example. And this is just, and he passed away in the year, in somewhere in 2009 there. So I've shared this from the lecture of my spiritual master he gave in 2009, Vyas Puja. This lecture he was giving about Kuvera Prabhu. So 2009, around few days back, he had passed away. So this is just a recent example that how a devotee by his wonderful qualities attracts everybody in this world there. But the quality of Prahlad was oceanic there. And when more we hear the qualities of the Vaishnavas like Prahlad, that is what Shrimad Bhagavatam, like people talk about, no, we want to hear Shrimad Bhagavatam. What does Shrimad Bhagavatam has? Shrimad Bhagavatam has the glories of great devotees glorifying the Supreme Lord, living in dedication to the Supreme Lord. So when we glorify these devotees, then we also get some of their wonderful qualities there. Though Prahlad Maharaj was born in a demonic family. And in saintly assembly, even the demigod cited Prahlad as an example of a great devotee. He was a Mahamagad. And Prahlad was so much absorbed in love of God. You know, we say that our aim of life is to develop love for God. And Prahlad was already in the prema state. So sometimes he will remember Lord's mercy and cry. Sometimes he will laugh, seeing the Lord again. And he will enjoy joyful thinking of the Lord, sing loudly, loudly call Lord Nandati. And Kanta, he will dance. Sometimes start dancing. Sometimes imitate the Lord's pastime. Sometimes be silent. And he all asked Sattvic Vikar, all asked Sattvic Bhav manifested in the body of Prahlad Maharaj there. And he will not move and shed tears from his half-closed eyes due to his love for the Lord. There. And Prahlad Maharaj there. See, and that's what it showed that bhakti is unconditional. See, Prahlad was born in a good family? No, he was born in a Asrik family. Prahlad had a lot of education? No, he was a small boy of 5 years age. He just served his guru, Narad Muni. He just heard from his guru, Narad Muni. Did Prahlad had a great beauty and thing? That's not so much mentioned there. So none of this could satisfy the Lord. What could satisfy Lord's Prahlad? Bhakti. So this is bhakti is one thing which we need, and bhakti comes from bhaktas by serving the Vaishnavas. So more we take association of the Vaishnavas, more we serve them there, more we get bhakti. And a devotee can be in any status. Prahlad was not a brahmachari, right? Prahlad was a simple boy, and later on the order of the Lord, Prahlad married also, right? There, and Prahlad also had a son, Virochan. There, Prahlad ruled the kingdom, but he was a great bhakta. So wherever we find a devotee, we take their sangha, we learn from those Vaishnavas. And from Vaishnavas we get bhakti. One who has bhakti can give us bhakti. And that bhakti controls the Supreme Lord there. That bhakti completely brings the Supreme Lord under one's control. And that's why Prem Pumartman, this bhakti is something, the greatest thing in this world. So how fortunate we are that Srila Prabhupada has awarded us this bhakti to us. And but now Yudhishthira Maharaj asked, if Prahlad was such a good boy, why did Hiranyakashipu torture him? Now you may also having question, right? If Prahlad is such a good boy, then why did Hiranyakashipu tortured Prahlad, isn't it? It's a question for every one of us. So now we'll talk about why did Prahlad was tortured. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking questions. So this is all samvad going between Narad Muni and Yudhishthira Maharaj. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, parents are affectionate to children. Then how did Hiranyakashipu chastise such a noble son? He is not a naughty son also. Even naughty son parents know just little bit there and they don't too much harm their child. But Hiranyakashipu was so nice. How could his father treat him like this? And then Narad Muni answers. So seven. Now we came to the fifth chapter. 4 chapters, second, third, fourth. 3 chapters we discussed some details there. So what had happened? Prahlad, Hiranyakashipu had sent Prahlad to learn under Shanda and Amarka. There, Shukracharya's son. See, very amazing. Like Shanda and Amarka will teach Prahlad, forget Lord Vishnu and learn politics, learn economics, learn this. And Prahlad was sent to Demon Institute of Technology, DIT. Right there. And same thing you see, modern educational system, they will teach everything except God. And if we go also for giving, we approach many engineering institute that will tell people about God. No, we are secular, don't tell them about God. And what children will be doing? All breaking all four religious principles there. So what was happening today in modern engineering colleges was happening many years, many lakhs of years before during the time of Hiranyakashipu. There, it was called Demon Institute of Technology. All the demons would come to, all atheistic people will come to study. But one problem happened. One devotee had gone there. That is Prahlad there. So they will teach all economics, politics. And Prahlad went to his Gurukul and came back. Then father asked, Hiranyakashipu asked. So first Hiranyakashipu came, Prahlad sat on the lap of Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu smelling was Prahlad's hair. My dear son, what did you learn in the school? And now it was an eureka. It was a great eureka. What did Prahlad say? What did I learn? But Prahlad stayed, but he did not like all friend and enemy, saw para duality. So then Prahlad said to Lord, First to Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyakashipu, let me know what you this is the best. And then Prahlad said, Tada sadhu manne asvarradehina sada samudvigna griham asadgrahat hitavatna patankra andakupam vanam gato yad harim ashaye. He says to his father Hiranyakashipu, oh, I think the best for the Dehi is Asurvar Dehina. You are the best of the demons, my dear father. But you are always full of anxieties. Mind you absorb in I and mind. Right? मेरे को क्या होगा, मेरे इसको क्या होगा, मेरे इसको क्या होगा. Like that. So what you should do? Give up this Grand Kupam. Grand Kupam. This blind well of attachment. There. See, there were Grameti and Grahastha there. So Prahlad Maharaj is not condemning Grahastha. Prahlad Maharaj also himself married afterwards, right there. So Prahlad Maharaj is not condemning Grahastha life. See, Grahastha life is for cultivating Krishna consciousness there. Like husband and wife together practice Krishna consciousness, chant the holy names together, come for hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, the way all of you are coming. But Prahlad Maharaj is condemning Grameti life, where the purpose is only material enjoyment. I said, give up this Granda Kupa, blind well of material enjoyment, and go to Vrindavan, go to forest and take shelter of Lord Hari there. So there's a direct preaching of Prahlad Maharaj to Hiranyakashipu. Of course, we are not Prahlad Maharaj, so we should not imitate that, okay, now become a devotee, and now I will also go and tell my parent. Then we have to face the consequences of Prahlad's faith, but since we are not great devotees, we may not be able to face the consequences. But we can learn boldness from Prahlad Maharaj. And in fact, one time it happened also. One devotee went to his spiritual master saying that, my parents are not letting me devotion service. I cannot chant and do. And then Maharaj said, are your parents throwing you from the rooftop? Are your parents burning in fire? He said, no, my parents are not doing nothing like that. Are your, parents, putting you in a snake pit? No, my parents are not doing like that. Then I say, see, all this was done to Prahlad Maharaj. But did Prahlad Maharaj stop his devotion service? No. The same way you don't stop your devotion service. Keep practicing your devotion service. Of course, we may not unnecessarily preach to our parents because we are not pure as Prahlad. By our example, we should preach. But see the boldness of Prahlad Maharaj. What kind of, boldness Prahlad had, there. In Hiranyakashipu, nobody dared to speak anything to him, Even Brahmaji would not come and give such advice to Hiranyakashipu. Though he had a lot of respect for Brahmaji there. And little Prahlad, 5-year-old child, speaking of father, was full of anxiety. And how Hiranyakashipu has so much anxiety. Now, what happened to Hiranyakashipu? Hiranyakashipu laughed. My children's intelligence spoiled by enemies of what? So Prahlad protect him at Gurukul so that Vaishnavas like Narada who come at disguise as Brahmana will not spoil his intelligence. Then again Shanda Namarka took Prahlad into the Gurukul. चलो थोड़ा समझाएं. Shanda Namarka pacified Prahlad and inquired affectionately, बेटा तुम्हें किसने पढ़ाया? बेटा who taught you all this? And Prahlad did not say. No, I just knew it. Prahlad did not say anything. And they start teaching again politics, friend enemy business. And Prahlad did not like that. So other boys are not like you. Who spoiled your intelligence? See, other boys, they are not speaking like you. That means problem is not in our Gurukul. Problem is in you, Prahlad. So they were trying to know. And Prahlad also was very intelligent there. And Prahlad said this. Prahlad said, see, Lord's Maya created this concept of friend and enemy. See, in this world, who is friend, who is enemy? Then the tendency of a person is to diverge between friend and enemy. But everybody is a servant of the Lord. Like yesterday, like last life, who was my enemy could be my friend this life. Anyone in this life would be Pakistani, next life will become an Indian. Today, somebody may be Muslim and become a Hindu. Somebody Hindu may become Muslim tomorrow. So what is a friend and enemy? These are all relative terms in this world. So those who are exalted souls, they only see the Atma. They even they see hatred of a person, they don't hate the person. They feel pity on the person who is hating them. And if we learn this one quality, not to distinguish between friend and enemy, because this quality of friend and enemy is on the bodily concept of life. Because I think I'm the body, so anybody who praises my body or thinks related to my body becomes my friend, and anybody criticizes the things or harming this body and thing becomes my enemy. But actually, nobody can harm my soul and nobody can benefit my soul except Guru, right? Except the Supreme Lord and the Vaishnavas, nobody can harm my soul and nobody can there. So then who is a friend and who is an enemy? There. So this friend and enemy concept, to the degree we are bodily concept in life, to that degree we distinguish the word between this is my friend, this is my enemy. But Prahlad did not have any kind of this, any kind of conception that he's my friend. In fact, though Hiranyakashipu troubled Prahlad so much, but Prahlad never think Hiranyakashipu to be an enemy. Like you see, cat. The rat thinks cat to be my enemy, and kitten thinks there. So you see, Asad Graha, crocodile. So what is our real enemy is Asad Graha. That we are in this material world, and anytime we are going to get devoured. So that is a real enemy, and an intelligent person should try to get out of this enemy of crocodile of samsara. So my intelligence is not polluted. By Guru's grace, I learned no one is my friend, enemy. Everyone is eternal servant to Krishna. There. So this was Prahlad Maharaj's consciousness there. He would never. And because he had no envy for anybody, he could take shelter of the Lord. So generally, because of envy, we commit offenses and we cannot take shelter of the Lord. But Prahlad was beyond any friend and enemy concept there. And in fact, why people become our enemies? Because we start hating some people, then in turn, those people also start hating us there and then become. But people who hate us, if we show them love, they will also eventually start showing love to us. See, therefore, there were three kinds of devotees. The Kanishta Adhikari. Kanishta Adhikari fights the people who fight with them. Madhyam Adhikari keep distance from the people. Right? If somebody is fighting with us, we don't fight with them and keep distance. But the Uttam Adhikari like Prahlad will go and transform even such people also. Right? But we should behave on a Madhyam Adhikari platform. That somebody is fighting with us, keep distance from them. Don't criticize anybody. Don't take, if somebody is criticizing the Lord and devotees, keep distance from them. Somebody is envious from us, keep distance from them there. So that is best in our time. We may not able to go and transform. But a high level of devotees, even somebody is blasphemous of them, envious of them, they will go and transform them also. There. So everyone is eternal servant of Krishna. Actually, we see from this buddhi that who is a friend, who is an enemy. And their behavior is just temporary, pertaining to this body only. But neither they are the Sharira, neither I am the Sharira. So to that degree, we become spiritually advanced. In our heart, hatred for others goes away there. So any religion which is teaching hatred for people, that's not a true religion. A true religion should teach love for everybody there. See, so it's the same way a devotee doesn't feel even hatred of Christians, Muslims, or people of other religion because they are also same part of the Lord as we are. Only thing they understand the Lord in different way. And if they are doing terror and things, so they are unfortunate that they did not know the whole essence of religion. So we should feel a kind of compassion at the same time protect ourselves that we should not get affected by those things. But we need not keep hatred in our heart for anybody there. In fact, somebody is criticizing us, somebody shouting upon us. That means how much that person will be miserable. Just think how much that person will be miserable who is shouting and things there. That's why he's shouting and doing all other things, right? So devotee feel compassion for everyone. And what is Vaishnava thinking? That let me be friendly for everyone with for Lord's service. Let me appreciate another service. Even a devotee is not, other devotee is not able to do nicely, or any person is not able to do, let me appreciate there. Appreciate other devotee service. Don't criticize him. If I cannot encourage him, at least not discourage him. So Vaikuntha, there is no envy. Nobody try to surpass himself from the other person that I'm bigger. See, in this world, anybody who can do something nicely, he will discourage other people. Hey, tu kisi kaam ka nahi hai, tu cannot do anything there. But in Vaikuntha, it is opposite. All the nightingales, cuckoos, koyal, they will be singing. beautifully. And then the bumblebee is Brahmar. They always stop singing and give chance to the bumblebee. Why? Because there is no envy. There is no false pride. So Vaikuntha is a place where there is no envy, and material world is a place which is full of envy. But what is the quality of a devotee is he give up his envy in the heart there. And he feels other people are better than me there. And in devotees, he said, oh, they are better devotees than me. And those who are not devotees, he sees a good potential in them to become the devotee and give them Krishna consciousness there. And if we overcome this envy in our heart, hatred for others, feeling bad about others, there we can make a quick spiritual progress and become dear to the Lord very fast. So Vaikuntha and proper rights in the convent that every devotee should appreciate each other's service. What other devotee is doing the service, we should appreciate. Proper talk about it. So there may be even competition among the servants or devotees of Lord, but there is no envy. Everyone wants to serve the Lord better. Even in Krishna Leela, all the Gopas will walk first. No, I will catch Krishna first. I will catch Krishna first. But what is the consciousness? Let me catch Krishna first to inspire the other devotee, other Gopa, to catch Krishna first than me, to inspire me to catch Krishna more fast. And there. So in devotee, there is no competition. Like my spiritual master once was telling that if they were book distribution, they were marathon. That let us do 1.5 lakh Mahabig books, but come last. And let other devotees, other temples do more than us also there. So Vaishnava always has a mood of that to see other people flourish more than himself. And he's para dukha dukhi, para sukha sukhi. In others' happiness, he is happy. In others' pain, he is unhappy. He doesn't realize, oh, देखो बहुत अपने आप को बनते थे अब समझ में आया ना क्या होगा उनके साथ. That's it. Vaishnava doesn't think. If a devotee is thinking, he feels about him. Like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, once Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was eating prasadam, and Ambhoga came. Ambhoga was the son-in-law of Sarvam Bhattacharya. So he came and started criticizing, hey, how you're a sannyasi, how much you're eating so much? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not take offense there. But Sarvam Bhattacharya felt very bad. That how could he offend the Supreme Lord? How he can offend Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So Sarvam Bhattacharya became very frustrated with him. Now, because of the offense of this offense, this Amhoga actually got cholera, and he was suffering from cholera. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took great compassion, and he came, gave prasadam from his hand to Amhoga. Amhoga, take this prasad, give up this envy, Amhoga, there, and gave prasad to Amhoga. And Amhoga, please chant Hari Hari. And as soon as Amhoga chanted the holy name of the Lord, his cholera went away. So though he was criticizing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went and even showed compassion among also. So Lord and his devotees have no envy towards anybody there. So this one quality is very, very important to go to Vaikuntha. A devotee is one who has no envy. A devotee is not proud of his own service, that maine kitna kiya, but he wants to glorify the other devotees. And everyone is allowed to serve to the best of his ability there. And Lord's different dictation to devotees and non-devotees. So Lord gives devotees how to serve, and non-devotees how to forget him. Even who gives the artistic philosophy to people? Lord only inspired. Okay, you don't want me, so I will give you artistic policy by which you can forget, and your followers will forget me. Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam priti-purvakam dadami bhakti yogam tam yenam payanti te. So bodies. See, all jivas are similar. Like their nature is soul, atma. And their bodies are made of same 5 elements. But still we differentiate between jivas. This jiva is this and this jiva is that. But the fact is all jivas are the sons of Supreme Lord. And then Prahlad is explaining to them that the Lord made my intellect different from yours. My consciousness is attracted to Chakrapani like iron to magnet. So Prahlad Maharaj gives this beautiful analogy, just like iron is attracted to magnet, same way I'm getting attracted to Lord Vishnu. Then we said, why do we don't get attracted to Lord Vishnu? Because we have rust over our iron. Okay? If iron is rusted, it won't get attracted to magnet. But the iron is pure, it get it. So because there is a lust, greed, pride, anger, illusion in our heart, that's why we don't feel attraction to Krishna. But when our heart becomes purified, then we start feeling a great attraction towards the Supreme Lord. And now they became angry, chastised Prahlad. And finally, they brought again to Hiranyakashipu. And now this time going to be deadly when they brought to Hiranyakashipu. So they chastised. And they were simply saying, they were actually not Brahmana, they were seminal sons, because Brahmana should not serve the Asuras, but they were serving the Asuras there. Bring a stake, his ignorance, Vaishnava. Then Hiranyakashipu asked Lord, my dear son, repeat whatever you think is the best of knowledge taught by your teachers. And this Chanda Marka gave a nice analogy, just like there is a sandalwood forest is there, and you can cut the sandalwood trees by an axe. So Lord Vishnu is the axe, and Prahlad is that thorn tree handle, which will cut the whole base of the asuras. So you cannot cut with the axe; you need the wooden handle. So wooden handle is Prahlad, and axe is Lord Vishnu. So they forcefully taught Prahlad about three vargas, and again Hiranyakashipu asked. They start diplomacy and all things there. And now again, Hiranyakashipu asked, Prahlad, what is the best thing you learn in the college? And what did Prahlad say? Shavanam Kirtanam Vishnu Ismanam Padasevanam Arsanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling, I learned 9 processes of devotional service. My God. Now the Hiranyakashipu became very angry, very angry. So where you have learned? You have about devotional service about my enemy. And Prahlad did not stop here. You know what did Prahlad say? Further, Prahlad start talking. Prahlad started to, even becoming angry upon Shandanamarka also. But again, he preached. He said, Mati na Krishne parato satova mitho abhipadde graha vitana adanta govi vishatam tamishram puna puna chan. So graha vata inclination towards Krishna never arose by others' instruction, own effort and combination of both. Because of uncontrolled senses, they enter hellish life and repeatedly chew the chewed. So again, he's giving the people like you cannot understand Krishna by others' instruction, by your own effort, or combination of both. So what you should do? They don't understand that Vishnu is their goal of life, and they are leading, and their ambition is to enjoy material world. They consider external sense objects valuable. And as blind man led by another blind man, they're strongly bound by ropes of material nature. In this world today, what is happening? Blind leading the blind. So all are claiming, all big leaders or big scientists, they are claiming, oh, enjoy life, do this, and people are going back. And people think if you have a car, you have a bungalow, you're great. But if you're chanting Hare Krishna, that's not so great. There you're wearing dhoti kurta, that's not so great. But you are making money, and everyone, oh, तुम्हारा बेटा US में इतना crowd है तुम्हारा, very good, very good. Oh, तुम्हारा बेटा जो है भक्ति कर रहा, no, that's not very good. So like that, people feel a fear. Why? Blind man lead by another blind man. And then saying, but how you can get Krishna consciousness? Mahisham Pad Rajavishekam. If you smear the dust of great devotees upon your body, then only you can get devotion. There is no other way. So it means when we take the instruction of devotees of the Lord, then only we can become devotees. So it also literally means taking the dust. If some sannyasis come, we should take dust of their, lotus feet there, if possible, their Bhaktapad Jal, Bhaktapad Dhuli, and Bhaktmukh Avshesh. They're a very powerful thing for awakening our Krishna consciousness. It also means hearing from devotees of the Lord. So when we hear from the devotees of the Lord, they're actually taking, if they are taking their instructions, taking their teaching seriously, they are taking their dust. And by which we can come out of the bodily consciousness of life and take to Krishna consciousness there. And now to Hiranyakashipu, he became very angry. He threw him off the lap, kill him as soon as possible. Kill him, And young son, 5-year-old, he threw him. Can you imagine? There, his killer of my brother, devotional service to my enemy, he's doing. He is giving up family's relationship at a young age. Unfavorable son is like diseased limb of body, kill him. If like some part of a body may get cancer, sometimes you have to amputate that limb only to save the whole body. So same way, kill this to save our whole race, like the Hiranyakashipu started telling. See, now Prahlad has not told anything to Hiranyakashipu. He has not harmed Hiranyakashipu, done anything. Just give little pravachan only, They're giving good advice. That very humbly Prahlad Maharaj is giving. But Hiranyakashipu is so much disturbed there. See, when a person wants to control everything, he becomes disturbed. Now, Hiranyakashipu has whole universe under his control, demigods under his control, all people under his control, full control. If it is hot summer, Hiranyakashipu will put his eyes and Indra will put rain. AC breeze will come there. Full control. He want mangoes will come in winter season. Everything was happening under Hiranyakashipu. That was the Swarat he was. Can you imagine Hiranyakashipu? That's Swarat. But he was not able to control this little child Prahlad. And that made him so much frustrated. So in this world, when we try to control things, we will be frustrated. And actually, frustration comes in this life because we are trying to control things by our own effort. And that's why there is so much frustration in our life. But when we depend on the Lord, Suhridam Sar Bhutana, that Lord is there who is controlling everything. He's the well-wisher of everyone. Then our life becomes simple, peaceful, not control. There's the point there. And Prahlad was dependent upon the Lord in that situation. But and what kind of disturbances he did? See, he was trampled under the feet of elephant, Prahlad. Can you imagine? Such trampling below the feet of elephant. But still nothing happened to Prahlad. He's already chanting, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Namo. He's always remembering the past tense of Supreme Lord and was. And Lord, every time you see, he's not, means Lord is nowhere seen by anybody else. But Prahlad is always seeing, oh, my Lord is protected. This is completely faithful. Then they put him into pit of snakes, all very, very poisonous, dangerous snake. Nothing happened to Prahlad. Lord was protecting. They threw him for the cliff, you see, and Lord Vishnu came and held Prahlad. They took all demons, killing, and nothing happened to them. In fact, anybody who inflicted suffering on Prahlad, they only died. Nothing could happen to Prahlad. The Supreme Lord was completely protecting Prahlad. So this is the power of devotion of Prahlad. This is the power of dependence. Mare Krishna, Rakhe Krishna, if Krishna wants to protect anybody, nobody can kill him. Anybody wants, and somebody Krishna wants to kill, no one can protect that person. Hiranyakashipu made all protection plan upon himself. But what happened? Lord killed him. And Hiranyakashipu made all plans to kill Prahlad, but Lord was protecting, nobody could kill him. So we should have faith in the Supreme Lord. In fact, this incident happened. One small girl was there who was a devotee of Lord. She was a devotee, and she was passing by, and a truck was coming. Father was calling, Beta, and truck passed over her. And father thought, my child is dead. And when father went, the child was distant away. And the child told, Father, Lord Narsimdev came and saved me.